Live from KSAT12, the Night Beat starts right now.
We begin tonight with an emergency plane landing. This small plane resting on Highway 16 at Bear Creek Road in Bandera County this evening. It all happened around 5:30. Still unknown right now what caused the emergency landing. However, officials say the plane's wing did collide with a road sign as it was landing. 2 people were on board at the time and both walked away unharmed. Federal investigators now looking into this. The aircraft is a Piper plane registered to a San Antonio charter service, according to the FAA website. That plane's still on the highway as the investigation continues.
And this is the 3rd aircraft to crash in our viewing area in just the last month and a half. On December 1st, a small plane crashed nose down into a commercial neighborhood near the San Antonio airport. That's where the pilot planned to make an emergency landing, but never quite made it there. All 3 people on board died, including a UTSA student. The NTSB is still investigating the cause. Then on December 15th, a helicopter came down at South Presa and South Cross when the chopper hit some power lines. Inside was a couple visiting here from New York and the pilot. They all walked away from the crash. The pilot did have some minor injuries.
San Antonio police are wrapping up their work at a scene where a man was struck by 2 vehicles in just the past hour.
It happened on the south side of town at Pleasanton and Division intersection. Japhanie Gray is there and spoke with police. Japhanie, what can you say?
Yes, guys, police say that the man in his 50s was actually using the crosswalk as he was crossing the street along Pleasanton. That's when he was hit. Now, as you can tell, the scene has been cleared since we've been out here, but here's what it looked like about 30 minutes ago. A sergeant says that the man was struck by the first truck, and while on the ground, he was struck by the second truck following. Both drivers stopped to call for help. The man was rushed to SAMC with life-threatening injuries. The sergeant says it appears that both drivers had a green light, but they are still trying to determine if the victim crossed too early or not. Now, police say as of right now, no charges are expected. They say that this has officially been ruled an accident. Tim, Courtney.
Thank you, Japhanie. New on the Night Beat, 1 person hurt when a car crashed into a home on the southeast side this afternoon. It happened around 4 p.m. in the 3600 block of Roland Road. Police say the driver lost control of the car and it veered into the home. It was the passenger of the car who was injured and taken to the hospital for treatment. And although police tell us the driver did just lose control, that person was still arrested for what police say were outstanding warrants.
Also new for you tonight, 3 people, including a DPS trooper, are recovering from a crash. It happened around 1 o'clock this afternoon on I-10 West near Converse. Officials say the trooper was assisting another vehicle accident and was parked on the shoulder to slow down traffic when a vehicle crashed into him. The 54-year-old driver was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The trooper and 1 passenger were also taken to the hospital for minor injuries. Charges could be pending for the driver.
Other top stories today. Fanned by powerful winds, a fire destroyed a home near the north side overnight on Moss Oak Drive. Firefighters say the flames kicked up around 3 a.m. at the home in the 2700 block of Moss Oak. Once the fire was out, neighbors praised the firefighters for their fast work, which kept that fire from spreading to nearby homes.
With the wind, it's still blowing kind of that direction. I was worried about the thing spreading. The roof was burning pretty well, and it was moving towards our house.
Firefighters say an elderly woman did live in the home, but she got out safely and was taken to the hospital for some minor smoke inhalation. Arson investigators are now investigating to figure out what caused the fire.
Person suffering from a gunshot wound to the neck following a shooting at a house party overnight. This happened around 1:30 this morning on Allegheny Drive over on the northwest side. Police believe a fight led up to that shooting. The person who pulled the trigger was not at the scene when officers arrived. The victim was taken to University Hospital, we're told, in serious condition. Police say the suspect could be a minor.
Bear County Sheriff's deputies say 2 people are now in custody following a chase last night that ended on the southwest side. Deputies say they tried to pull a driver over just after 11 p.m. when he took off. Deputies eventually arrested him after he crashed his truck in the front of an AT&T building on Southwest Military Drive. The driver is facing charges of evading arrest and stealing a vehicle. A woman was also taken into custody, but deputies say she was being held against her will.
Take a look at your screen right now at these pictures. San Antonio police are asking for your help finding this burglary suspect. The incident happened on East South Cross Boulevard back on New Year's Day. Police say a building and multiple customers' cars outside were burglarized and damaged. Anyone with information is asked to contact the East Property Crimes Unit. Their number right now on your screen, 207-7642.
Tragedy today in Lubbock after a firefighter and a police officer were killed by working the scene of 2 traffic crashes. Another firefighter was critically injured in the incident, which happened on an icy Interstate 27. Crews say a vehicle that was not involved in the original crashes crossed a median and slammed into the first responders. Authorities say it's a grave reminder of the potential cost of speeding during icy conditions.
This is a tragic day for our family. This is a tragic day for both police and fire and the men and women of both of our departments. When road conditions get this bad, we need to make sure that people understand that they need to slow down. They need to understand that the road conditions are dangerous, and we have people out there trying to protect them, and speed and road conditions are always a factor.
The investigation continues. No word yet on any charges that driver might face.
Democratic presidential candidate Michael Bloomberg launching a new phase of his campaign today, and he did it right here in San Antonio this morning. As Katrina Weber reports, the billionaire businessman says he's using his bus tour to travel the state, bringing his message directly to voters.
With a packed house at Viva Villa, candidate Michael Bloomberg wasted no time getting down to business.
We are here to win this election, and I am running to defeat Donald Trump.
Although he's one of many still seeking the Democratic nomination, the former New York mayor's focus was already a step ahead.
Love just doesn't close its door to refugees.
He talked about how he'd handle the presidency on issues from immigration to education and health care to background checks for guns.
But when the law was written, the internet and gun shows didn't exist. And so the law doesn't apply to them. That's the only thing that we need changed.
A group gathered across the street was not so easily convinced. Others, though, liked what they heard.
I'm glad he came. I think it's important for him to appeal to all of us in Texas.
Bloomberg says that's the whole point of his bus tour, to talk directly to voters.
It's no accident that Bloomberg chose San Antonio as the place to kick off his bus tour. He says he sees it as a growing city with good leadership and an important part of his campaign puzzle.
We are going to finally turn Texas blue.
Political parties, though, don't matter to Yolanda Sutter. She came seeking a candidate to bring the country together.
We cannot be divided. We all are the same. We need to join.
This was Bloomberg's 3rd trip to Texas, and if all goes as he hopes, he says it won't be his last. Katrina Weber, KSAT12 News.
Look outside with live cam tonight. This time last night we had just gotten through some severe thunderstorms. A much different story today. It was beautiful out there, much cooler, but a lot of sunshine. We were able to warm into the 60s this afternoon. 47 our morning low, up to 63 today. Just a trace of rain that was measured after midnight when a few of those lingering showers produced a little bit of rain at the airport. Tomorrow morning it's going to be pretty cold to start. We're going to bottom out in the mid to upper 30s tonight. By 10 o'clock in the morning, heading out to breakfast, brunch, anything like that, temperatures will be climbing into the 50s. A cool start to the day. You'll notice a few more high thin clouds in the sky tomorrow, but overall another nice way to end the weekend. We are going to turn things around quickly by Monday. Higher humidity, more cloud cover, and even a low chance of rain. More on that and a look at your full forecast will be up in just a few minutes. Courtney.
Thank you, Katie. Just a reminder, right now at KSAT.com, you can get caught up with David Elder's latest adventure called Texas Eats. It's an hour-long show which premiered last Saturday. The 2nd episode is now live and serves as an ode to Texas German food in New Braunfels. You can now catch Texas Eats every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on your KSAT TV app, wherever you stream.